From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2295, this is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, October 27th, 2021. For 36 hours between the 26th and 28th of October, international teams of radio operators will push the limits of their abilities and their radio equipment to compete in an event that military organizers in Canada are calling the world's most prestigious military-led high-frequency radio competition.
The exercise, known as Noble Skywave, is a friendly contest among military radio operators and their affiliates to contact other teams, making use of voice and data modes. Teams can comprise radio operators active in various nations' military forces, or they can be in the reserves or National Guard. Operators also participate from the US Military Auxiliary Radio System and the Canadian Forces Affiliated Radio System. This year, more than 150 teams in 10 nations are expected to be on the air, hoping to be crowned the best of the best. Although the majority of participants are in the US and Canada, past exercises have drawn participation from teams here in Australia, the UK, New Zealand and Peru. The Communications and Electronics branch of the Canadian Armed Forces have been at the helm of this training exercise since 2013. Lieutenant Taylor Curran of the Canadian Armed Forces 21st Electronic Warfare Regiment told Amateur Radio Newsline in an email statement his regiment is the lead mounting unit for the event. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
With the help of some key funding, a digital safety net is ready to expand in the Pacific Northwest.
An emergency communications network in Oregon is getting the resources to expand its reach with the help of an $88,000 grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications. Oregon Ham WAN for Wide Area Network will use the funds to set up a dozen distribution sites between Salem and Portland, Oregon, enabling a connection to the Puget Sound data ring. That data ring provides communications between Seattle and Vancouver in Washington state. The project leader of the Oregon Digital Network, Herb Weiner, calls the connection a, quote, game changer for emergency communications in the Portland area, end quote. The establishment of 12 backbone distribution sites will allow hams to set up network nodes more quickly in the event of a disaster, such as an earthquake. Each network node would operate with such equipment as a 12-volt battery and a low-cost Wi-Fi router. The multi-megabit data network provides regional connectivity via amateur radio on the microwave bands, providing high-speed digital communications. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
What are you doing the first week or so in December? You're invited to be a part of the Antarctic Eclipse Festival. But don't worry, you won't need your heavy coat.
The Antarctic in December? It's a promising time and a promising location for citizen scientists volunteering to help you another project of ham sci. No, it doesn't involve travel, just an HF radio and some commitment to the cause. With a total solar eclipse happening over Antarctica on December 4th, HamSci is hoping that hams and shortwave listeners around the world will help measure Doppler shift at that time by using their HF receivers at home. The shifts are the result of space weather having an impact on the ionosphere and on propagation paths. The worldwide project, which is being called the Antarctic Eclipse Festival, will be looking for measurements gathered between the 1st and 10th of December. Instructions on how to sign up for the festival, how to collect the data, and how to submit it can be found on the HamSci website at hamsci.org. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jerry Goodrich, KF5KRN.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Andy Morrison, K9AWM, Jerry Goodrich, KF5KRN, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.